Sheila Hamilton here in the Keep Oregon Well room. What do you think of this beautiful daisy?
Oh, I love that.
Is it a daisy or a sunflower? It's a sunflower.
Oh, yeah.
I'm with Anderson
Very Van Gogh.
East. And if you don't know this guy, you must immediately, in fact, stop listening to us and go on Spotify and listen to Anderson East. Anderson, so good to have you with us here.
Thanks for having me.
I was loving talking with you about mental health because you're really open and very normal around wanting other people to take care of their mental health. You suffered from panic attacks when you were a kid?
Kind of like early adulthood.
Yeah.
Like right around when I was about to graduate college. So
What was going on in your life?
I think it was just like, life transition, just, being really unsure about the, wide world you're walking into and
Yeah, it's
all that goes along with it.
I think we try to make it like, whoa, you should go out in the world and get a job and have a house and actually it's a big
It's pretty
deal.
terrifying. It can be,
Did you decide at that point you were going to become a musician instead?
I was always, that was like what my track was
Yeah.
trying to, I wanted to be a studio engineer. And so I was, had my hand in that. And, from there, I think that's my phone.
Oh.
Very popular. I apologize.
Yes, you are very popular. How did you end up managing them?
I didn't for a long time, and it was pretty debilitating.
Yeah.
And, I was just pretty terrified of, any kind of triggers and any kind of thing like that. And, but, and then I got on medication for a while, and that seemed to help until it didn't help.
Yeah.
And then, I think a lot of, my own personal stuff was like, it was stemmed from, life choices and, just things that were not really all that healthy in a situation where I knew that I wasn't, living up to my full potential. And so making some actual life changes helped. And then I got the best piece of advice because, the biggest fear of it is just the fear of it in its own right.
That's right.
The anticipatory thing that brings it on. So I was just told, it's like, well, next time you get that, like that kind of electric feeling, it's like, just tell it to just be as bad as it can get.
Yeah.
And then ultimately, like after doing that, you're like, because I think the initial shock of all of that is that you feel completely alone and completely isolated, and you feel like you're the only one that's ever had it, and you're going crazy,
Yeah.
you're going to die, and you're not. It's actually a pretty normal reaction.
Yeah.
And just knowing that, you're not alone in this takes a lot of it off.
It's so wild that I think, especially as we talk to artists, so many artists have or continue to suffer from panic attacks.
Mm-hmm.
And my theory is because they have a larger bandwidth for feeling emotion and being able to actually, that's why they have all the great stuff too and can reach for lyrics like you create. And learning to manage it is so unbelievably powerful.
Yeah, and I think too, like you just gain so much empathy for other people.
Yeah.
Having to deal with it,
That's
just
right.
like just knowing that, like all the crazy things that your body's going through, it's like I can't imagine what everybody else in the world is dealing with. So I think it's a blessing, honestly. Like as awful as it is, like I wouldn't trade it for anything.
Because it's made you more alert to the world.
Yeah, and made me I feel way stronger, because of it. It's like, just having to deal with it, like you've outlived the feeling of going to die.
Oh, I love it.
This
has been Anderson East with us in the Keep Oregon Well. Once again, you got to hear this guy's music. Thank you so
thank
much
you, and
for
thanks
bringing
for
such
everything you are
beautiful
doing.
art. Absolutely.
Appreciate it.